but right now I'm just and in this function, Orbiter calls this function whenever it updates the MFD screen, the MFD, the drawing. So for example, if you're inside an external view, this function won't be called. So don't use this function if you want something to be executed every single time step. Use the time step function above. And this is to save the MFD state or to load the MFD state, but we're not going to need that. Okay. This is there so that the compiler will only copy the bombmfd.h file one time. See what, and then header .h file is called a header file. What happens is that basically you can declare things like classes inside your header file, and you can use the pound include directive. This is called the compiler pre directive. And what this basically means is that the compiler will basically on compile time copy the contents of this file, dump them here, and then compile. This is to avoid a lot of copy pasting and to make the code more readable. And if ndef means if not defined. If this is not defined, then we define this, the rest of this stuff, and then this is the end of it. So this is just there. This is just something there to make sure that we don't include this header file more than once. Here we okay. And pressing F7 to compile. Okay, we get one warning. Let's check it out. It's probably nothing serious. Oh, it's just saying that there is yeah. This is nothing serious. Okay. So this MFD is basically whenever you press Shift plus F, it's going to fire a shuttle PB. And ideally the shuttle PB should have its engines on, so that it's actually moving forward. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the consume key buffered function. This callback function, this is not really a callback function, but this function basically processes the keys. Whenever the user presses something, it this function is called so that you can process those events. Okay, so case op key f, and you can actually take a look at all these keys here. Orbiter API, where is it? There we go. list of all these keys. And we're going to do vessel status vs get focus interface, another API function, so you really need to get used to that API. And we are going to call a function called, basically we're getting a pointer to the vessel class of the focus vessel, of the vessel in focus. And we're going to call the get status function. And we're also going to set the engine main value to 1. And that should do it, I think. So we'll just create the vessel and okay. And we call the function op-create vessel. What should we give it as a name? You can just call it bomb. And class name would be shuttle PB. And the vessel status. Okay. So let's try it. Uh-oh, we forgot to activate the module inside the modules tab. Bomb MFD. Bring it up. We have nothing inside the update, so it's not going to print anything. And Shift F, and as you can see there's a little PB down there. Another 2. Now I wonder why their engines aren't firing. Set the VS main to main engine setting, main hover setting. Let's try that and set that to 1 as well. I don't know if it's probably not going to work. I don't know. I'll have to look inside that later. But basically, as you can see, we created an MFD really quickly that will allow us to fire these shuttle PBs. Another something we can add is constant fire, so that basically if you have you can add a mode in there called constant fire, so that when it's active the MFD is constantly firing shuttle PBs. It's just something fun. Ideally, something like that should be declared inside the MFD itself as a private variable, so that the instances of MFDs are independent of each other. But there's an issue with that. Every time you switch views from an internal to an external, every time you switch from an internal to an external view, Orbiter destroys all the MFD classes and recreates them when you go inside a cockpit mode. So what that makes it do is that it reinitializes all those variables so that the MFD state is lost. Maybe that I will create another video later on which will show you how to create an MFD so that the MFD instances are independent of